Hello, everybody. Warm welcome to Amazing You podcast and YouTube channels, the channels where stories of resilience, triumph, and unwavering hope come to life. And in each episode, we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads on and emerged victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating through difficult times. And whether you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to hope and triumph. So join us as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So be prepared, everybody, to be inspired and to find the strength to navigate life challenges. And very warm welcome to everybody, to anybody who is new today. Thank you for being here. And for those who've been watching for the past 4 years, thank you for your support. And please, everyone, continue to watch, share, and subscribe. I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I am a Mars Venus life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, tarot reader, past life regression practitioner, and life force compassion practitioner. And today I am very excited to introduce you all to a very special lady. Her name is Nina Amir. Nina is known as the Inspiration to Creation Coach and as one of about 1,000 elite certified high performance coaches working around the world. She combines personal and spiritual growth strategies to help her clients achieve more inspired results and create lives that feed their soul. Nina is also an author, a certified law of attraction coach, trained voice dialogue facilitator, and an ordained minister. Welcome to Amazing You, Nina.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction and for asking me to be on your show. I'm very honored.
The pleasure is all mine, Nina. I am really very excited and very grateful that you are taking your time today to speak to the audience. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
And Nina, you are known, as the beginning you were telling me that you are known as the Inspiration to Creation Coach. So can you tell us what does that title mean to you and how did you come to embrace it?
So I think I'll answer it backwards if I may.
Sure.
I needed to do some branding. I had been known primarily as an author coach of books about writing and publishing, but that wasn't what I intended to be. I intended to write books about personal and spiritual growth and to coach on those types of topics. And so there came a point when I needed to redo my branding because I was trying to combine my interest in personal and spiritual growth and my experience with that and the writing and publishing. And so I had a friend who took me through a process, and she asked questions, and we wrote words down, and then we chose some words. And inspiration and creation were the two words that stuck out the most. That people say I'm inspiring. Like even when I'm writing about blogging, they would say I inspired them. And my focus was on creation, that we are creators, that we create all the time, even if we don't realize we're creating and don't necessarily like what we've created, we are creating all the time. And so that was a big focus of my personal and spiritual growth work. And so we came up with inspiration to creation coach, because I believe that our soul speaks to us, or our spiritual guidance, however you want to look at it, through inspiration and intuition. That's the language of the soul. And so we want to get inspired to create, right? So we want to follow that spiritual guidance, if you will. So that's how that title came about. And that's really what it means, that we follow our soul's guidance through inspiration, and we create because that's who we are. We are inherently creators, and we create primarily with our thoughts, but also with our vibration, our thoughts, our actions, all of those things. And so what I want to do is to inspire people to follow their spiritual guidance and create what really matters to them, including a life that feeds their soul.
Thank you, Nina. That's really, really awesome what you are doing and what you've just shared with us. And for anybody who is listening to you, and what would you like to tell them? Because people have told me a lot that they don't think they are creative. What would you like to tell those people who are listening?
So let's first distinguish between creativity, like I'm gonna, I feel like creating a painting or a book, right? Or whatever. That's when we're being creative, right? We can be creative in designing our homes or in what we wear or anything like that. But being creative, I believe, is inherently who we are, that we are creators. And so we, if you look at your circumstances, like them or not, you've created them. And it may have been through fear. You might have been thinking fearful thoughts about something, and then you create that. So people don't think they're creating because they look at their life and say, this isn't what I want. But on some level, you are creating that. And this is not about so-called, like new age guilt, like, you should feel horrible that you created an abusive marriage, or that you created being $10,000 in debt, or whatever it is, right? It's not about that. It's about beginning to take responsibility for your thoughts and for your actions and your emotions and how they attract to you different scenarios, different circumstances. So if you're negative a lot of the time, you're going to attract negative things or create negative things. People talk about the law of attraction. I think we're actually
Yes.
creating more so than attracting.
Mm.
Um, uh, but just look at your life. So, my husband has talked for years about wanting to retire.
Mm.
So, he's now 70, and yet he went and found a new job because the last one ended. And, I keep looking at how his jobs have been ending more quickly as time goes on. And yet he's 70 and he's not retiring, even though that's what he said he wanted. So it's no wonder he creates his jobs ending,
Mm.
right? Because somewhere in there, I mean, for years he had so much emotion in that. I hate my job. I don't want to work anymore. I just want to retire. Well, so that's what he has created, is this constant scenario of, I'm getting older and my jobs are ending, right? And so I think we have to look at that we're always creating. I mean, I thought I would get divorced, and I had to stop and look at the fact that my constant negativity about the marriage, my constant criticizing and complaining, for anyone who would listen, was created for me, creating the situation of a marriage I didn't like,
Mm.
right? Whereas when I shifted my thoughts and I said, okay, I'm going to be grateful and I'm going to be appreciative
Mm.
and I'm going to stop complaining and I'm going to take responsibility for my part.
Yeah.
Like if I want the marriage to change, I have to be willing to change. And that
Mm.
includes my thoughts, my behaviors, all of that. And when I did that, the marriage changed. And I'm still married after 37 years. So I think we have to really look at all of that. Like, do you walk by the penny on the ground? Like, you're
Mhm.
having financial issues, but you walk by the penny on the ground and say it's just a penny? Then you're creating the fact that you think a penny is worthless, right? And you're
Yeah.
reinforcing the fact that you don't appreciate money
Mm.
and that your thoughts around money, maybe you're in lack, but yet you don't see the penny as something the universe or God or source or whatever put in front of you,
Absolutely.
or that you put in front of you
Yeah.
as a way to reinforce that money is important. And so you pick up the penny and you put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if that answered your question, but I think we really have to look at our lives and take responsibility for the fact that on some level we've created it, even if it's subconscious, and sometimes it is subconscious.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Nina. That's beautiful what you just said, and that's very, very true. And I love the example that you gave of the penny that we see in front of us, because very often people will ignore the sign that the universe will bring in front of us. But the universe is always wise and loving and guiding us. But we have our eyes closed due to the veil of conditioning. So it's about really peeling those layers and also changing the way we think, because we tend to think so negatively. And when we change the way we think, we change the things around us, we change our life. Yes.
Right.
Thank you for sharing your example, and congratulations for still being married, and for sharing that. I am sure the audience would appreciate your authenticity and your openness today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how do you, Nina, balance personal growth strategies with spiritual growth strategies in your coaching?
So you mentioned that I'm a certified high performance coach. I'm also a transformational coach, which deals a lot with identity. And
Okay.
I believe that who we are is, I mean, some people would say threefold, fourfold being, but let's just keep it simple. I think that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way
Yeah.
around. And so when I coach, I approach both sides of that. Certified high performance coaching is a curriculum created by Brendan Burchard, that I was certified in and I license.
Okay.
That tends to not have as much of the spiritual element in it, but I try to bring it in if my clients are open. If somebody hires me as a transformational coach, then I'm very upfront. I said, well, then we're dealing with personal and spiritual growth. And to me, it's the personal growth that allows us to grow spiritually.
Mm.
Because as long as we, in our human selves,
Yeah.
are maintain old programming around spirituality, have lack of trust or belief that you are a spiritual being or that you are creative or any of these things, right? Then you won't experience that. So you have to work on your personal growth to have the spiritual growth. And typically they're going hand in hand.
Mm.
So how I approach it as in a holistic manner. You are a spiritual being having human experience, so let's deal with both parts. But the part that's blocking you from the spiritual growth you want is the human self, the personal. So we have to do the personal growth and get you out of the way, get you more trusting, more open,
Mm.
all of those things.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that and for emphasizing the importance of doing the personal growth work. Yes. And for listeners today, Nina, who are new to spiritual work, what one practice they can start today to feel more aligned and purposeful?
I would say,
Mm.
I mean, most people would say meditate or this or that, right? Like give you an exercise to do. I think that the most important thing is to realize that you have spiritual guidance coming all the time.
Mm.
And it often sounds like you because you are it. Like your soul is connected to divine mind and you're part and parcel of whatever you call that divine mind, source, creator, divine creator. And when you realize that, you stop looking outside yourself. And so you want to be looking inside yourself and trying to perceive the spiritual guidance. A lot of people will say, I don't know when I'm having an intuitive hit, when intuition comes through. And I've already said, I think that's one of the ways the soul speaks to us. But inspiration is easier. Oh, I got really inspired by that magazine article or by that YouTube video or that speaker, or I was really inspired by what I saw when I went on my walk, so people understand inspiration. And so that is one thing to pay attention to is inspiration. When do you feel inspired? Because that is your soul pushing you towards something, right? Whatever it is. I heard somebody, I went and heard this author speak and about their path to authorship, and that inspired me to write a book. Okay, so now, after you acknowledge that you're inspired, it's about taking action. It's about trusting your spiritual guidance and actually acting on it. So that would be the practice that I would offer: is pay attention when you feel inspired, or if you do, receive intuitive hits. Pay attention and take action on that. And don't negate. I started out talking about, well, it doesn't matter. Let me go. But I said something about, that we are one with source or creator or divine mind. And so if you hear things, it often sounds like you. So if you ask a question like, should I do this? Or I prefer, is this in my highest interest or my highest good to do X, Y, or Z? The voice in your head is going to sound like you because it is you,
Mm.
because you are connected all the time. And so ask the questions, pay attention, and then trust and take action.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. And when you were talking of inspiration, that reminded me of something that happens to me often. It's when I'm not thinking of, let's say I want to do something, but when I'm not thinking of it, and let's say I'm in the shower, that's when the inspiration will come. And I will straight away from the shower, as soon as I get out of the shower, write it down or record it on my mobile so that I remember. So inspiration can come in anytime throughout the day, but it's mostly when you are relaxed and you are letting go, when you are calm, that's when it comes to you without you going against the flow. It's you going with the flow, like the river just flowing, just let go. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Nina.
and you're a hypnotherapist, so but it's, when we calm the brain,
Mm,
soul can speak to us. We can receive the spiritual guidance. Most of the time, the brain is chattering away at us and doesn't want us to listen to what the soul is telling us, because that means change or doing something that it hasn't done before, that we haven't done before. And that's all scary to the brain. And so when we can shut down the brain by just getting in the shower or going for a walk, that's when inspiration hits for sure.
that's so true. Yes. Thank you, Nina. Nina, would you please share with us what are some of the daily practices or routines that you apply in your life to stay calm, focused, and confident?
Like, get out in nature daily.
Mm,
So I have a dog and I walk the dog. I think if I didn't have a dog, I would still do that, because just getting out and walking first thing in the morning is a way to get centered and grounded. Uh, I like to pull cards. So you
okay.
said you're a tarot reader, so am I.
Mm,
And I have all different decks, oracle decks and
okay.
whatever. And I like to pull a card or two. I also like to spend time doing what I call guided writing.
Mm,
A lot of people would call it automatic writing. There's some other names for it, but I sit down and I do it with my computer. A lot of people do it by hand, but I can't read my handwriting
okay.
half the time, and I don't write fast enough. So I like to type. So I sit with my laptop and I ask source or my soul or whoever is there, guides who want to guide me. Um, what do I need to know for my highest good that day? And
Mm-hmm.
I write that down. I may also have specific questions and I ask. And again, sounds like me, but when I go back and read it, it's like, well, that's not, that wasn't me, But I like to do that as well. So I would say those are the main things.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And when you are saying that you do the automatic writing, I think it's the same thing as channeling because we are channeling from our source, from higher self, from God. So it's another word. I think it's channeling as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And it's just a nice way to connect and bring
Yes.
in information.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. Nina, and if today you could leave the audience with one piece of advice about living fully and creating what matters, what would it be, Nina?
To remember that you are a creator, or to adopt that identity even if you don't really believe it yet, and affirm that you're creating all the time, and that it's possible to create what matters to you. 100% possible, 100% of the time, to create what matters to you if you focus on that, if that becomes your focus rather than thoughts of lack or fear.
Yes, that is very true. Thank you for sharing that. You know, I was speaking to a lady not long during my holidays, and she was telling me how she has stepped into her own power, gone within herself, and started creating the life that she wants. And she manifested a home that she never thought she would her whole life, but she could do it fine now with the power of her mind, power of her positive thinking. And I always admire her when I told her that she was such an inspiration to me because many people would stay within the box, but what she did, she learned from different sources and expanded her mind, and that's how she could understand her own powers and start manifesting in her life everything that she wants. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that story because I don't think there's one source of truth or information other than source,
Yes.
like divine
Yes.
source, right?
Yeah.
Divine mind. Um, so I think I am very eclectic and so the places that I've learned things, it's just everywhere. And I think that's so important because then you don't get stuck in one dogma.
Yeah.
The fact that she manifested this home,
Mm.
there's so much we can do with our mind, with
Yes.
our thoughts. And often our subconscious thoughts are blocking us from
Hmm.
creating what we desire.
Yeah.
But we can work with the subconscious, and you know that. But
Yeah.
I teach that. I say visualization is awesome,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
learn self hypnosis. You can even get, audio,
Yeah.
just an audio that helps you do self hypnosis, because then you're reprogramming your brain
Mm.
a deeper level than you can just like with visualization or affirmations or all the tools that we've been told. So I love that story because it just demonstrates how possible it is for us to create something, even something that we think is beyond our means or beyond possibility. Everything is 100% possible.
Everything is possible, yes, because we are the creators of our own story, of our own life. But I think
Yes.
it's believing in ourselves and believing that these are the potential, there's infinite potential within us all.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And Nina, we are coming very close to the end of this podcast. And my last question to you is where can the listeners connect with you, learn more about your work, or explore your programs?
Well, thank you for asking.
You're
Um,
welcome.
they can find everything about me at ninaamir.com. So just my name.com. Over there, you can link to my blog posts or to my blogs. So on that site, there's a personal and spiritual growth blog that is updated 3 times a month. And then you can also, if you are a writer or a blogger, there are links to the other websites and blogs. Uh, to stay in touch with me. You can also go to ninaamir.com /soul dash notes / So ninaamir.com /soul dash notes / and that will put you on my mailing list for the personal and spiritual growth side of things. And every week you will get an email from me with what I call a soul note. So it's a bit like the channeling or automatic writing. I sit down, I ask for a message, and then I write a little bit about that. And then I also share my links to all three of my blogs. And so it's a great way, even if you're a writer, to get the links to whatever I published that week or that month. Of course, you can also on my site at ninaamir.com find out about my coaching. An easy link, if you want, is ninaamir.com /work with me. And that will take you to the two types of coaching and my membership program, the Inspired Creator Community, which is my flagship program, personal and spiritual growth program. But I have lots of writers in it, and I offer a bonus of the Nonfiction Writers University there. And then, of course, you can email me at ninaamir.com. Pretty simple. There's a contact form there. And there are free resources at ninaamir.com, like a video about feeding your soul that you can watch for free. I think that's pretty much it.
All right. And where can the audience find out about your books, Nina?
The easiest place is books. If you just go to booksbyninaamir.com. booksbyninaamir.com. You can also find this information on my website, but that will take you to Amazon to all my books. And I do have a new book coming out in January.
Okay.
About writing for change. It's called Write a Book That Makes a Difference. That will be out January 6th. And I'm also working on another book that my literary agent is trying to sell to a publisher right now, which is about changing our personal narratives so they become supportive and help us create the future we desire. So I call it sacred stories. And so we want to create more sacred stories.
Nina, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing your web links and your other links. Your main link will appear below so the audience can contact you. Your website will appear below. It will be on the information of the podcast and the YouTube as well. So anybody feel free to go there. You can reach out to Nina. And I wish you all the best with your book coming out soon, Nina.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'm very excited about it. This particular book is over a decade in the making.
Wow, how exciting. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I would like to wish you a lot of success moving forward. And huge thank you for taking the time to speak with the audience today. And any final words that you would like to leave the audience, Nina, today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. I'm very honored to have been on the show. And my last words would be to focus on possibility. Focus on being a creator and possibility, because that's how you will create what matters to you, is by focusing on the possibility of it appearing in your life.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nina. And thank you, everybody, for watching, sharing, and subscribing. And remember that you are amazing. You have always been amazing, and you always will be amazing. Thank you, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.